I am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. Planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got two hearts, your life is saved. Run into the Master Raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not rich. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else? Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate.
Cybermen or Daleks, maybe.
Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo. I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me. I'm Doctor Who. Ooh, welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. I am your host, Werewolves Scotland. I'm Adam O'Sullivan. Joining me, as always, is my lovely co-host. She is not amused. It's Nicchia Shirt.
I am so not amused.
Oh, she said it. She said it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
After I seen you yesterday.
Yes, that's right.
My farewell. I'm a little dusty
If
this
you're keeping track of the timeline of the podcast, we saw each other yesterday.
Yeah, if anyone cares about that timeline. The interesting thing is our dog, when he was a puppy, ate the remote control for our second television, which has the DVD recorder. And I bought a universal remote, and now the only thing that doesn't work is volume up. And Dave has turned it so far down now. I'm watching Doctor Who, and I just have to read the subtitles because I can't hear a bloody thing.
I bet you're not amused about that, are you, Mum?
I was not amused.
Oh, she said it.
Again.
Please welcome back to the show. We had thankfully managed to stop him chanting at the moon. It's the jester, Scott Black.
Oh, that was my best wolf. That was terrible. I would have been, yeah, right. If I had been the werewolf, it would have been more like, nah, never mind. I'm going back to bed. I would have just been a whole episode of me circling, trying to make my bed more comfortable.
Well, have you seen the season 2 outtakes? They have a couple of outtakes where they've CGI'd the wolf as like, oh, look, I'm just getting comfortable here.
Yeah.
Just giving himself a bath and licking and just rubbing.
But there's one where they have the guy who's obviously the representation of where the CGI wolf will be, and then the wolf comes in afterwards and he's like, oh, sorry, I came in too late. Oh.
I have seen that. It's very funny.
Yeah, it's very silly.
It is. But yes, I was impressed with your Latin while you were chanting, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't know you were fluent.
Dominus ominous post perspis post mortem preponderandum.
There you go. Oh my God.
Yes, yep.
I have absolutely no idea what that means. If anyone's listening and wants to research it, it's from a Latin part of the song, what was it? Pentecostal Barber Shop by Ray Stevens, an American comedian.
Oh my
Way
God.
back in the late 70s. I learned it for a school concert, and I have no idea what it means. And I've never forgotten it.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Is that Latin? Is that what, yeah?
Yes.
What is it that Julius Caesar said? Vidi verci. No. God, I'm going to think of it. I came, I saw, I conquered. And it's quite famous, and now my brain, because I've got a dusty brain, can't remember it. But it's
You don't want to get it mixed up. You don't want to be, I saw, I conquered, I came.
Yeah.
Or do you?
Or do you? Well, that's the Vikings.
Maybe that's what Julius Caesar meant to say.
We start off as we always do with Doctor Who in real life. D-Whirl.
D-Whirl, yay!
Today's bit has to do with the history of Doctor Who, brought to us by Johnny Morris. Johnny is a writer and has written Doctor Who stories and seems to be a keen Who historian, or Who-storian, as I like to call it.
A Hoover and Shaker.
A Hoover and Shaker. The Daleks are hugely popular and instantly recognisable. We did a whole live episode about them, guys.
We did.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, were you there?
Watch your own video. However, before their first full appearance on December 28th, 1963, in the second episode of The Daleks, they were largely unknown. Johnny Morris has put up on Twitter a bunch of photos from the Daleks' first promotional shoot on December 23rd, 1963, taken at Shepherd's Bush Markets.
It's interesting, this story, isn't it?
The most famous of these images is of a Dalek trying to board a double-decker bus. There's also a shot of the Daleks at the Fruit and Veg Mart, surrounded by thoroughly confused kids who haven't seen the creatures on TV.
Giant
And they're
something.
thinking to themselves, where is he going to hold the shopping bag? That's what I would be thinking.
Potatoes, 10 pence a pound.
Oh, my goodness.
They just kept trying to lift the head up so they could stick their waist into it.
Yeah.
These bins are rubbish.
Well, it turns out that none of the British magazines decided to run the photos before the episode aired, either because the Daleks hadn't become famous yet, or perhaps to make sure the surprise wasn't ruined. Remember, up to this point, audiences had only seen the tip of a Dalek eye stalk as it bore down on Barbara in the previous episode's cliffhanger.
Oh, poor Barbara.
Dalek mania had not started yet.
And then it did.
However, one newspaper did run the pictures. On December 28th, a cropped image of the Dalek trying to board a bus was run in the daily newspaper Het Parool. As you might be able to tell from the name, the newspaper was not in English. It's a Dutch newspaper whose names translate as The Password. The Dutch got to see the Daleks before anyone in Britain.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Or anyone in who's seen it on the newspaper. People who were
And why did the Dutch pick it up and no one else?
They just didn't care about spoilers. They were like, yeah, screw it, show them.
Or maybe they thought, this could be our future.
Yeah. Maybe these things are going to become real popular, guys.
I like that. I found it. It's going to do, I knew it'd drive me crazy.
Okay.
Veni vidi vici, which is I came, I saw, I conquered. It's one of my favourite Latin phrases, and because it wasn't get into my dusty head, I had to find
You
out
have
what
to
it was.
clarify what you mean by dusty, though.
Little hungover would be the way to put it.
We got a little bit
Not
rowdy.
Thanos snap dusty.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
Half of you
Not
snapped.
slim dusty.
Yeah. Not Dusty Rich, guys.
Dusty Springfield,
Not
maybe.
dusty roads either.
Oh, baby, it's Dusty Road.
But I will say I do love to have a beer with Duncan. So could be
'Cause
Slim
Duncan's me, mate.
Australian music, people.
Australian music. Well, Radio Times did some digging and found that the first likely mention of the Daleks in published print was in their very own publication back when it was a paper magazine on December 26, 1963, which featured a listing for that week's episode titled The Survivors and had the names of the people who played the Daleks and the Daleks' voices.
Oh.
That was the episode where you first got to see the Daleks. So that was the first mention of them in print.
Wow.
And then the Danish newspaper got the first picture of them in print.
Well, the Danes are pretty clever, you know. I'm pretty sure that although they say we're German, I'm sure we're much more Danish.
Right. Didn't the Australian woman marry the Danish prince?
Yeah, Princess Mary. She married Frederick.
She's like, well, they got the Daleks first,
yeah.
so that's where I get all my Doctor Who spoilers from.
I know. Had I known that, I would have chased Frederick myself.
Well, that was his opening line.
Yeah.
That was how he picked her up. He's like, hey, we broke the Daleks. And she's like, I got the vapors.
Oh, I'm also a prince.
Yeah.
Tell me about
She's
the
like,
Daleks
yeah,
again.
Give a shit about the prince.
Yeah, but just tell me about the Daleks. Did you touch one? What happened?
Yeah, it was a picture.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say that she married like a Danish, like the pastry.
No, you're not allowed to marry pastries, as far as I know.
Not yet.
But you can have your way with it.
Only the ones filled with cream.
Just not on public transport, as I find out court dates pending.
It's always embarrassing when that happens to you, I tell you. I hate reading about it in the paper.
Yeah.
I love reading about it in the Playboy magazine.
It's never a flattering picture of me either. So
Yeah. No, you've never got your happy, pretty face on for that one.
Oh, my.
And we're just starting.
Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you
That's
very
right.
much. Our episode today is Tooth and Claw, Season 2, Episode 2. Written by Russell T Davies and directed by Euros Lynn. Originally broadcast on the BBC Saturday, April the 22nd, 2006. So long ago, 13 years ago.
I know.
Before I was born.
And I don't think I've watched it since. Maybe.
No, I don't think I've watched it since
Maybe
either.
once. When I first got the box set, I probably sat down and watched all of them. So it was good to watch it again, even though I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
It was good to
Such
read
a strange
to
situation.
read it. Yeah.
You know you can get up and go to the TV and turn up
Yeah.
that
No,
way.
there's this little toggle thing, and it says if you kind of press this big button, it'll go up. And Dave and I sit there and press it, and nothing works.
You don't know how to fiddle with your knobs correctly.
No,
Yeah.
it's a square knob. That's stupid.
They can't put that in a round hole.
No,
I know that.
I know.
You can't put it through the arch window.
No. I used to love, on play school. That was the most exciting time, wasn't it?
Going through the window, trying
yeah.
to figure out which window it was.
When they picked the arch window, because I thought that was the magic window when I was a little
Yeah,
kid.
it was
Because that was hardcore
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought there might be magic. I wasn't actually just looking for death. I was
Circle
looking,
and triangle were like, oh, fuck this noise.
oh, yeah, we're looking through the square window. Pff, I can do that now.
freaking
You fucking
squares.
square.
Yeah,
No
that's right.
magic in there. pyramid.
Arch window. Now that has got magic written all over it.
All right, we'll start with a short synopsis. The Doctor and Rose arrive in the 19th century Scotland, where they meet Queen Victoria and try to protect her from a werewolf and a band of kung fu monks.
Ooh.
Let's start off with the kung fu monks, shall we?
Can I just start with?
Sure.
Everybody was kung fu
Fu
fighting.
fighting.
Kids were fast.
Now, apparently the inspiration for this was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
Right.
This fight sequence is really unusual for Doctor Who to start, before it goes to the titles. I loved it.
The fight
very
sequence
Matrixy.
is amazing, but it does not fit with the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no more kung fu in the rest of it.
I actually looked up because I was like, was Russell T Davies like obsessed with Shalon soccer? Because that was the only thing I thought of was that
really?
soccer
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
that was super big around that time. And I'm like, he was probably just like, we need something else. We need something. And then he had that on. And he's like, yeah, totally. We're gonna add that.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense.
No, but it's visually very pleasing to watch.
Yeah.
I have to say, and yes, I thought that the father of the head of them, the abbot or whatever he is, was fairly easily disposed of in the end.
Yeah, well, it was like highly trained kung fu monks against a bunch of farm people.
Yeah.
Like,
And they were no match for their pitchforks.
they had no reason to like do the acrobatic moves that they were doing because they could have easily just kicked them in the face.
The guy says, "Didn't you notice something weird about my household staff?" And the doctor goes, "Bald, fit men. I just thought." And your wife's away. I thought you were just having fun.
Oh,
I love that line.
So you know what the doctor gets up to.
Yeah.
yeah, with a bunch of bald men.
He said,
Get me
like,
some bald men, stat.
Paint them blue.
Oh, he's probably just got a whole room of them in the TARDIS
yeah,
somewhere.
probably.
It's one of those rooms that no one goes to. He's just got like crime tape against it. So he's like, no, that's doctor time.
Maybe he's got a red room like in 50
Oh,
Shades of Grey.
Oh, I'm sure he
Red
does.
rum, Red rum.
Where River's just chained up.
Yeah.
He's forgotten about her.
Yeah.
She's
doesn't
regenerated
mind.
like 5 times.
Yeah, I'm with Beck. She wouldn't mind.
No.
She regenerates into a bald man. He's like, all right, let's
Oh, you
do
go in the
this."
other room now.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
There's a room of bald men, but then there's also another room of super hairy guys. Like,
Yeah.
just depends how he feels on that one day, you know?
Yeah, he also wants to take care of any regeneration down the line. He's just like,
Yeah.
well, I gotta have something.
Just in case, you never know.
I'm not into it now, but
So can I ask, did the wolf teach them kung fu, or were they already kung fu monks that worship the wolf?
Well, the wolf didn't look like he could teach anyone kung
No.
fu, did he? What I can't understand is they pull back the sheet that's
The
over
cover,
the
yeah.
cage and they all scream.
Yeah.
But he's just a man. I mean,
It's the middle of the day.
He's got-
It is the middle of
yeah,
the day.
and he's got weird ass eyes. But why does everyone scream? I thought, my God, this thing must be ugly.
It's a man in a cage.
Yeah.
and
With
how
a
does
hood.
he feel?
Yeah.
That's got to be degrading. He's already in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already sickly looking with terrible teeth. I
Yeah.
don't think you need to make
Maybe it was
fun
the
of
bad
him.
teeth. They were like, oh my God.
Oh,
This is Britain we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's
Everyone
true.
has bad teeth.
They were envious. That's what it was. Shocks of screams of joy. Like,
He's
"Oh."
got all of his teeth.
Oh, what a catch.
I think it would be more terrifying if you just saw him with like braces and he's just like,
With just wooden teeth. He's even carved them into fangs. You're like, why?
Who had wooden teeth, Lincoln or Washington?
Washington allegedly did, but it's actually even grosser than that. He didn't have wooden teeth. He had dentures made of other people's teeth.
yeah.
Because that was what they did.
Oh my
Do you think they
God.
tried to match them so they all looked alike? Or they.
Oh, it'd just be weird if it was like baked bean,
Yeah.
red kidney bean. Like, they're not even teeth. He's just sticking little chunks in there.
Little piece of corn.
Yeah, that's right.
If
I
blue
so
tack had
like-
been invented, they would have just all been made out of blue tack.
It's like a friendship denture, isn't it? You and I are friends, so you give me one of your teeth, and I'll put it in my denture.
Yeah, imagine you're talking to Washington. He's like, it's really. You finished with that tooth?
That incisor is very attractive.
It's way better than the one I've got. Oh, certainly, General Washington. Of course, you can have my tooth.
Have it.
Just on the idea of having blue tack for teeth, can
Yeah.
you just imagine trying to eat something with blue tack for teeth?
How do you think popcorn gets stuck in your teeth now? Oof.
You not only would you smile with popcorn, you'd have like it coming out of your mouth. You're like, hey, I know.
Well, I always imagine, because he was a general, so I always imagine him on the battlefield after it was all over when they're bringing the bodies. He's just like, hold that one for me.
Yeah. Oh, good teeth.
Check the teeth.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awful.
Still more presidential than Trump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did he have a favourite dictator? Isn't that Trump's
That's the newest
recent
thing.
one?
Oh
Yes.
my God, it's every day now.
No, I just
Jesus.
want to know.
I forgot he had a son the other day.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
too.
He's just like, oh, Melania has her son and
Oh, yeah.
he's a good boy, and everyone's just like, you do know
talks
he's
about
your
his-
son
Yeah,
too.
He talks about his kids like they're dogs. He's a good boy, isn't he?
Good boy, isn't he?
Wonderful guy. Totally wonderful guy.
Oh, because he's trying to outlaw vaping because they caught his son with a vape pen.
Oh, really?
So he wants
that's
to
why
make it
he's-
completely illegal now.
Right. Okay.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans die via guns. They're not all bad.
Yeah, exactly.
3 people die by vaping. Ban them.
How many people die from alcohol poisoning and abuse? A few more. But what
But
is
if they found his son with a gun, he'd be the poster child of the NRA.
Oh, yeah. What I want to know
made-
is, do any of you, before we get into, do any of you have a favourite dictator, such as Trump, who loves the Egyptian dictator? Favourite dictator, anyone?
Can't say that I do.
Yeah, I like the classics, as it were.
There is a whole subset of people that actually find people like that attractive.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're powerful.
Yeah.
Well, there's people who marry serial killers.
Yeah.
Well, there's the whole Ted Bundy
Yeah.
crowd
yeah.
that came out recently. They're like, we love Ted. And it's like, no.
Yeah, Ted Senpai.
Ted's so cute.
Please notice and kill me.
Oh, my God, he slays me.
Anyway,
Slay, yes.
yes, I'm the same.
Yes, Queen. Sashay away, Ted Bundy.
Oh, that's terrible. The worst thing is that we know Ted Bundy's name, but we don't know the names of all of his
No,
victims,
exactly,
which
yeah.
sucks. But anyway.
And
Anywho.
that's the end of our true crime podcast.
Yeah.
We've
Oh,
done
wow.
like
Oh my
6
God.
genres in this one episode.
We're going to be more popular than we usually are. True crime is hot.
Well, we've
Yes.
just finished My Favourite Dictator based on My Favourite Martian.
I love that sitcom. Hi, welcome to My Favorite Dictator.
Today it's Paul
Emphasis
Pot.
on the D.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's Hitler.
like the show Heil Honey, I'm Home.
Oh,
Which I did know about before you
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
it on
yeah.
the podcast.
I had no idea, and I'm still mortified by
It's
it.
supposed to be a satire of those sitcoms, basically.
Yeah.
But no one got it, and everyone thought he was being serious, and
Yeah.
so they cancelled it after one episode.
Oh God, yeah, gosh, anything that makes him look, at least, I mean, silly, I understand, but anything that makes him a bit more adorable in any way, shape, or form should be.
Well, meanwhile, there's that Monty Python sketch with Mr. Hilter.
Yeah.
And there's the producers who
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Well, then it's also Taika Waititi's new movie,
Oh yeah, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, really?
Where he plays Hitler.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi plays him.
And is the imaginary friend of a Jewish boy.
I actually like Quentin Tarantino's version where
Inglorious
in
Bastards.
Inglourious Basterds.
Shoot him in the face.
Yep.
Where you're like, well, nothing's going to happen to these guys because we know what history is.
Yeah.
And then he sets
Yeah.
them on fire and kills them. And he's like, oh, okay.
I love
They're just
that.
machine gunning him into the face until it turns into a puddle.
Like, all right, I'm on board. I'm on board.
Yeah.
How have we taken this detour?
Oh,
How
sorry.
have we
This
not?
is what I do.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Derail things.
I like
Trump.
to think that they pull back the cover on the cage and the guy's like, rawr, rawr, I'm going to be way scarier when I actually turn into a wolf.
Why are you already naked? Just in case. I don't want to rip my clothes. They're my only good breeches.
I would have liked it if he'd gone, hello, how are you?
Hello.
Could I trouble someone for a spot of tea?
Because I will be drinking a lot of blood later.
And running.
Because I've been in this cage for a long time, I've had to drink my own urine, and it's a bit nasty.
It's a bit manky.
Yes, the original Bear Grylls.
The Doctor and Rose, trying to get to an Ian Dury and the Blockheads concert, land in the Scottish moors in 1879 instead of 1979. They encounter a carriage carrying Queen Victoria, who has been forced to travel by roads to Balmoral Castle because a fallen tree has blocked the train line. Can I just mention, Rose is not having a good time of it. Her hair is whipping all over the place.
Yeah, it's like, I think they filmed at the same place that they did New Earth because her hair's whipping everywhere there.
I love that every time they cut away and cut back, like her hair is perfectly, and then it just flies all over the place again. They really tried to stop it, but it is all over the place.
I love it when Rose tries the Scottish accent, and the doctor goes, "No, don't do that."
Well, apparently they were both supposed to do Scottish accents for the full episode until the action started.
Yeah.
But Billy Piper couldn't do a Scottish accent, so they decided to turn it into a joke because they were like,
Right.
"Oh, this isn't gonna work."
I love it when she goes, "Okay."
The whole thing of the Doctor getting it wrong and landing in the wrong place, like I never really liked that.
Yeah.
I loved it when they got into Matt Smith's territory where they're like, no, the TARDIS just takes you where you need to go.
Yeah.
Because that whole thing, it kind of made the Doctor a bit doofish.
Yeah.
Like when he couldn't get it right.
But I mean, he's always never been able to get it right, and I for me, it helped with the 11th Doctor when they said, "Oh no, the TARDIS takes you where you need to go," and I thought, okay,
Yeah.
that's what. And I kind of thought that as a kid. But I mean, does the TARDIS never think the Doctor needs a holiday? Does the TARDIS never go, "Oh, come on, we'll just go to Alpha Centauri for
He's always trying
a
to
week."
take a holiday when it takes you
Yeah,
somewhere else.
and
He's
the
always trying
TARDIS
to- yeah.
interferes.
Well, he gets that one at least because there's that one when he lands on the Oods planet and then he comes out and he has like the big lay
yes,
around
yeah.
him and his
Yeah.
sunnies and the big
Yeah.
hat and everything. And then that's when he discovers that he's got the keyless entry for the TARDIS. And he's like, all right, burn this. No.
But then there's also the episode where he the Power of Three, where he takes Amy and Rory. Hey, I got you a
honeymoon gift.
honeymoon present, and it turns out it's a spaceship. So even when he's trying to take someone on a holiday, it doesn't really
doesn't
work that
work
well.
out. I don't know whether I'd want to go and see. Is it Drury or
Drury.
Drury and the Blockheads myself, but having not liked their music when I was growing up.
Well, it's just
But
that one
still.
song. Does anyone know any other songs that they did?
I don't.
He had
I
quite
don't
a
actually
few.
know what.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
No.
No, I'm sorry. He did have a song that was
This lyric
I'm
means
spasticus
my-
autisticus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want to catch that.
It just seems like another thing. Like while he was watching Shalon Soccer, like he had
Yeah.
on his Generation 1 iPod.
Yeah.
This song came out and he went, that one.
Or they wrote the episode and he was trying to go see a Beatles concert and then they looked it up and went, "Oh, that's how much it is for a Beatles song?
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
try something else,
Yeah,
shall
let's
we?"
What can we get in the $2 range?
Yeah.
Were the Beatles even still together in 1979?
No, but they
No.
would have rewritten the episode to go back to the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You think they were stuck with 1970? Well, I've written it on the page. We cannot change it.
Give me the bottom 40 songs of 1970.
Once I've written the year, I never change.
Hey, Russell, do you really want to write this one joke that one hipster in Seattle is going to like? Yes.
Yes. The Doctor poses as the Queen's protector using his psychic paper, and he and Rose join the Queen as she travels to the land of Lord Robert, a favourite of her late husband, Prince Albert, also known as Torchwood Estate.
I know. That's our
dun,
first
dun.
Torchwood reference. It's very exciting.
I always
I think it
remember
was-
this, as I was saying before, I always remember this as the beginning of Torchwood.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
obviously Torchwood is mentioned in the first Christmas special. It's
Oh
mentioned in the
yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
special as
But
well.
this is kind of the origin story.
Yeah.
Which is what
Oh, yeah, definitely.
what I like about it, and I also like that the Doctor and Rose have a bet to see who can make.
Oh, yes.
That if Rose
£5,
can make us say,
excuse me, I'm not going to exploit my, what about £10? All right, you're
yeah, 10 quid. I mean, just trying to get us say we are not amused. And it's interesting now because Jenna Coleman plays young Victoria in the TV series, so an old companion.
Maybe she'll do an episode of Doctor Who where she plays young Victoria. I don't think that's going to work.
No.
But our actress playing Queen Victoria has been in Doctor Who before. Her name is
Pauline Collins.
Pauline Collins.
Appeared previously in the series as Samantha Briggs in the second Doctor serial, The Faceless Ones, in 1967.
And when they repeated them all before 2005 season, so they repeated them all on the ABC, I got to see that episode. She was kind of young and spunky.
That's a long drink of water between episodes. She's
Yeah.
just sitting by the phone the whole time. Anytime, any minute now, they're going to call me back.
I'm
Paul-
finally old enough to play Queen Victoria. Yes.
Pauline, your agent is on the phone. Is it about Doctor Who? No. Oh, well, okay, then don't worry about it. I'll wait for Doctor Who.
I'll wait for Doctor
Tell them to
Who.
get stuffed.
Well, actually, she was apparently offered the position of a companion.
Yes.
Because in the 60s, they used to just go through the companions like no one's business.
Pretty much.
They were the red shirts of the time.
Yeah, basically. But she wanted to focus on other acting roles, so she said no.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah.
Playing Queen Victoria like 3 decades later.
I'm sure she had a great career.
She has actually had very prolific career in the UK. But yeah, it was good to see her again.
The royal party is unaware that the Torchwood estate has been captured by a group of monks led by Father Angelo. A very Scottish name, as it were. Capturing his wife and servants, they force its owner, Sir Robert McLeish, to play along as they pretend to be the house servants.
It is weird. I mean, wouldn't you kind of notice that all your house servants
Are bald men.
bald men? I mean, there's no women, there's no one with hair.
Where's Sarah? She usually gives me a bath. And
Yeah.
this fellow does it a bit aggressive.
Like he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, and he does try to sort of say, oh, you know, I haven't got any food, blah, blah, blah. But
Run, Queen Victoria, run!
But what would you do? The thing that annoys me the whole time when I was watching this is he's still a man in a cage. They could have tried some way. I mean, I would have yelled and screamed.
Maybe Queen Victoria was like, well, actually, maybe we won't stop. Ooh, is that bald men? I think we'll stop here for the night.
Yeah, it was her thing.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, you just knew it wasn't going to go well. I was hoping that Rose would at some point put on one of those swishy dresses, just because it's always fun to watch them in those weird costumes.
Well, I thought I remembered that she did get changed, and she does not.
Nope.
She is a naked child, as they say.
Her nakedness.
She's covered from head to toe, but to them, she's very naked.
I can see ankles.
That's right, and knees.
No, because she's wearing stockings.
Yeah, but you never lifted your dress up. So people could see. People seeing your stockings was very rude.
Okay, all right.
They got turned on by pantaloons. I know.
That's like holding hands without a glove on. That's
Oh.
woo.
Burn her.
All
She's a
those,
witch.
all those transmitted diseases from non-gloved hand holding.
Oh, no.
My aunt, my mother's sister, she would go to the movies and she would wear one glove but with one particular boyfriend because she was sure he picked his nose. She didn't want to hold his hand.
Oh, my God.
But she would date him.
Yeah, she would date him.
Date him, yeah. Well, I think he was probably good to take her to the movies.
She was just like, I can change him. I will change his picking ways.
I'll just do a Michael Jackson way before it's popular
Trendsetter.
and wear one glove.
And then way after when it's not popular anymore.
Or maybe she was just a really good girlfriend. She's like, do you need a hand with that? Can I just use my glove? Well, even at the start, she goes, what about this? And the doctor goes, oh, in 1979, it's like wearing a trash bag.
Yeah,
or
you may as
something.
well wear a trash bag. Yeah.
And it's like she doesn't get changed.
No.
Your doctor has just told you you're inappropriately dressed.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's fine.
And who's going to wear a trash bag?
And her bag's there in the control room. Did she get changed in the control room?
Ooh.
Well, she went into this one room and it was just all bald men. And she's like, I'm not getting changed in there.
And she was just like, change me, boys. Change me.
I always imagine that there would be a room in the TARDIS where they did have like a changing machine, like Tony Stark style, where he just gets in there and is just like, yeah, whatever, and they're just like, and just sticking all this stuff on.
Just something like last night before I went to bed, I caught an episode of Adam West's Batman, and it's just so corny.
Oh, I love it.
But I just love that. To the bat poles.
And it
they
changes.
go down
I always wanted to see, like, as they're coming down, like, Batman comes down, and then Robin's like, Batman! And he gets in, his underoos are stuck on something, and he's just, like, getting an atomic wedgie from hell.
I just want to see it where Robin comes down, he's wearing Batman's costume, and you're like, uh-oh, we took the wrong pole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Quick, up the pole. And then he's wearing Catwoman's outfit. He's like, Bruce, you want to tell me something?
It just made
Let me tell you, chum.
laugh and laugh.
I love that show
And
so
then
much.
dance.
It's great.
Woo! Yeah.
The Batutsi.
Yeah. How come Batman doesn't dance anymore?
He got to his emo phase, that's why.
Yeah.
No one likes me. My parents are dead.
Dressed
I'm
all
gonna
in
talk
black.
like this.
I'm just gonna listen to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I like Robin. He's just so chipper. Gosh, Batman,
Gee
you're so
williker.
good at this.
You mean Target?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear dark and stay in the shadows. You put on these bright red and green underoos and jump out in front.
And then in the 90s, he
Might
was
as well have
like,
just
I'm a
put him-
cool dude, brothers.
Might as well just put him all in high vis.
Yeah. Glow in the dark outfit.
And that's the Batman podcast.
Yeah, we're
Oh, yes,
crossing
please.
genres.
Can we do that one? Unbeknown to the royal party and Robert McLeish, the monks have brought a man infected with a form of lycanthropy. The monks are hoping to pass the werewolf gene to the queen and create a new Empire of the Wolf.
Why has he got that voice?
I don't know, but I also just like right now, Adam just gave a perfect example of what happened in the pitch meeting at that writer's room. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, so the guy's going, oh man, this doesn't even make sense. And Russell T's like, brilliant, I love it, let's do it.
Well, apparently it was supposed to be, so they, originally the story was, depending on which version you read, it was either Russell T Davies' idea or somebody else's idea. With Queen Victoria in Buckingham Palace and she gets an alien infection in her eye, and they went, no, that's dumb, let's not do that. They had, the Runaway Bride was supposed to be an episode in this season, and then when they moved that to the Christmas special, they brought the idea back, but they said, okay, let's add werewolves. And
Because she was a haemophiliac.
yeah, she was a hemophiliac.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't a hemophiliac, but
No,
she
she
carried
passed it on.
carried the gene because
Yeah,
hemophilia
that's right.
infects the male side of the family, doesn't affect the females.
Yeah.
The females are the carriers.
But none of her family had it.
No, one of her sons died from it.
Yeah, no, but before that, they were saying she didn't get it from her mother or father. The doctor was saying that. I did look that up. It was strange that she had,
Oh, okay.
you know, that it just had
But
developed.
but
But
it
they
was-
were all into breeding.
Yeah,
in
and it
those
probably
days.
was being passed down from her mother's side. So if the mothers had the carrier gene, then they wouldn't have
Yeah.
presented as hemophiliacs.
Yeah, weird.
The whole Doctor fourth wall breaking of this episode was clever at first and then really grating towards the end.
Yeah.
When he was just like, and yeah, that's real. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Pull it back a bit. Like,
Yeah.
I know originally the show was supposed to be, to teach kids
Educational,
history,
yeah.
Yeah.
but at the same time, annoying. Okay.
yeah.
It's great when Deadpool does it, not so
Yeah.
much when the Doctor does it.
But can I say the guy who plays the host in the cage, like
Yeah.
he is super creepy. Like he's
Oh.
really good.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is his voice.
I thought that made it even creepier.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I would have liked a deep
No,
voice.
I thought it was like a mad hatter sort of. Yeah.
Well, he did sound mad.
yeah. Oh, definitely.
I would have liked it if he had a really camp voice.
Hello, darlings. Hello, possums. I ate out his soul and sat in his heart.
I'm going to be a wolf soon.
Grrr.
I saw an interview recently with Dame Edna Everage, and it was so strange because now she's trying
Was
to.
it with Barry Humphries or Dame Edna?
No, it was Dame Edna Everage, and she's trying to pretend that Barry Humphries is a separate person and that everything that Barry Humphries said, she doesn't believe in because Barry Humphries has said some terrible things in the last few years.
Yeah.
So now she's trying to pretend, oh, no, I can't believe he said those things. I would never say those things, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what is going on?
But I mean,
Bingo.
she's always talked about Barry Humphries as if he's a different person.
Oh, okay.
Always.
Oh, I
Ever
didn't
since
get
the
that.
character came about. Even Celeste Patterson. When he does Celeste Patterson, he talks about Barry Humphries as someone else. But maybe Celeste Patterson is bleeding into who Barry Humphries is. So
Maybe as he gets older, he's just finding it harder and harder to differentiate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come over here, Barry. Come on. It's time to retire.
It's a minefield out there, buddy.
The host realizes that Rose has traveled the stars and that she's intelligent.
Yes.
You have the wolf about you. It sounds a little bit by
Yeah.
Does
York,
it?
I just
Yorkie?
realized.
Yeah.
A little Gollum in
Yeah,
there.
I'll have
You have the wolf. You burn like the sun. But all I need is the moon. Dun 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 dun.
And
that
it's
wolf in you.
oh so quiet.
That wolf in you is bad. It's a
the
bad
moon I
wolf.
need.
I'm
crazy.
really getting triggered right now with all this talk of wolves.
Sorry.
Are you Wolfkin, are you?
Just have to look up on the thing there.
Ah, wolf.
Yeah, secretly
Think you're a
wolfkin.
wolf. Yeah.
So
Are you a furry? Is this the first time we find out?
This
Yeah.
episode is proudly brought to you by the Australian Furry Corporation. It's not a phase, Mom. That's her motto.
the problem is that dressing as a werewolf does not attract the boys. Just telling you now.
It does
I've
attract.
tried.
It
I've
does
tried.
attract a certain type of boy.
Yeah. Ones who want to die. Yeah.
That's not far from the usual ones that I do.
Well, it's never a lasting
Hey,
relationship.
it worked for Twilight.
Well, that's true.
I'm
That's
a
true.
wolf, so that's why I have to wear no shirt all the time.
And did you see these abs? I didn't work this hard to wear a shirt.
I turn around, more abs.
Back abs, bicep abs, tricep, all abs.
Look at my
Ass abs.
Look at my ass abs and leg abs.
Yeah.
And
My
we-
brain has abs.
The only place that doesn't have them is my penis. That's got love handles.
And I'm really
That's where I put on weight. That's where I carry all my weight.
Oh, look, and on the downside, when it rains, I smell like wet dog.
When Father Angelo is chanting in Latin, he is saying, Lupus magnus est, lupus fortis est, lupus deus est, which translates as, the wolf is great, the wolf is strong, the wolf is God.
Oh, my Lord.
That's my new catchphrase.
Yeah.
The wolf is God.
Yeah.
What's that last line?
Well, it is
So we
spelled
can-
backwards.
Dog God.
Dog. Yeah.
Flof.
Also my catchphrase.
Ah. I was thinking of wolf, which was flow. Well, flow.
No,
flow is wolf backwards.
No, isn't the lupus?
That's the wolf bit. Supple is lupus backwards.
Because when I think of lupus,
Yeah.
I think of supple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're all thinking of Remus or Lupus from
Yeah.
from Harry Potter,
Yeah.
aren't we? Oh, yes. please.
Hello, Sailor
He's
Wolf.
supple, isn't he?
No, he's supple.
Hello, puppy.
The Doctor soon realizes the trap they have fallen into and helps to save Rose, the Queen, and Sir Robert from Father Angelo's men and the werewolf by taking shelter in the estate's library, its wood coated with oil of mistletoe to stave off the beast.
So what I like is that Rose organises everybody to get out. And if she hadn't done that, they would have all been eaten.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Because by the time everyone got there was just nothing going on. But can we talk about the CGI for the wolf?
Why was not practical used? I mean, I understand at the time it was like, well, CG is cool, but CG was so expensive at the time as well, which is why it was so rubbish, because TV CGI just isn't what it is today. But the fact is that wolf makeup has been amazing for so long.
Yeah.
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
They could have done something practical. Didn't have to do the full transformation that they did in American Werewolf in London, but they could have just like a couple of close-ups of someone pushing some hair through a Brillo pad or something just to get the growth, and then cut to makeup.
Yeah.
Would have been so much better. But
I'm with you. And they showed it's like they showed us everything straight away, and I didn't believe the wolf.
Can I say, I understand where you're coming from, but the werewolf effects are way better than the instantly getting the disease effects from New Earth. And the preview of the next episode, the monsters from School Reunion,
they're
which
terrible.
are horrendous.
the only thing that holds that episode together is Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah.
And Sarah Jane.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, the effects for the whole series aren't very good.
No.
Like, the wolf is probably the best part out of these 3 episodes.
I like it when they've got some shorter, quick, close-ups of him rather than the big tall thing. It just didn't work for me. But yeah,
Well, also because hair is so hard in CG.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like, they still haven't nailed it unless you're
Yeah.
Pixar.
Yeah.
Like, they still haven't got it. But to go, we're going to... Like, even in a budget meeting, the producers alone should have just gone, wait, okay, we're doing a werewolf and you want to do what?
Yeah.
CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? I can go down to the shops right now, get a bear suit. We'll just get a wolf head for it.
Yeah.
Sold,
Yeah.
Now it's one guy just going back. I miss the 60s of Doctor Who where we would just wrap someone in the trash bag and go, alien!
But look, there are so many good special effects makeup artists who could have done an amazing job. It just would have been good. But anyway.
So what happened was Russell T Davies was working with the company that was doing the CGI, The Mill, and they basically told him this is how many shots of the wolf will probably be able to get done by the time the episode comes out. So he had to write around that. So the bits where we see from the wolf's point of view, that's basically Russell T Davies being like, okay, well we can't afford to have another wolf shot there. It's going to have to be from his
But
point
I
of view.
loved the shots from the
Yeah.
wolf's
it's
point
great,
of view.
yeah.
That they're scarier.
I would have rather more of that, less of the
too.
CG.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because, when you work in visual effects, a lot of times you have to hide it. So they did a couple of shots where they did try to hide it. We're going to put them in silhouette. We're going to put it in the dark. Things like that, to try to hide the imperfections. But then there was a lot of times where it was just like, there it is.
Yeah, I know.
Like a turd on the screen. Hey, look at that.
I know.
That was a wolf.
I know. And it did take me out of the story when I first saw it. I kind of went, a lot of times I can forgive it, but for this one, I don't know why. I expected something more, maybe.
The classic, the wolf man. All they had to do, keep him in his normal clothes, a little bit of makeup on the face, a little hair coming out of the shirt. Done.
Could have had the wolf running around in those red pajamas.
So awesome.
Doing kung fu. Oh my God, guys. I think we've written a new episode.
That's a whole new series. That's a spin-off.
I also think he'd be faster on 4 legs, wouldn't he?
Well, it's that thing from last season where the Slovene are running after the Doctor, and the time it takes for the Rose and the Doctor to run through the room is like half the amount of time that it takes the Slovene, and yet the Slovene are always so far away from them that it's ridiculous.
It's like Monty Python and Holy Grail, where
Yeah.
the guy's running towards camera and it just takes forever, and they just keep
love
putting the
that.
shot back.
We made a short film and we actually used that technique where every time you look, they still look like they're a long way away, and then suddenly they're right up in your face. It really is a good, fun thing to shoot.
Especially if you go do a wide shot and you see that the room is only like 10 feet wide.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
It's really tough on the actor because we make them just walk back and run, walk back and run, walk back, and we got the shot quite a few times.
And then we have the obligatory farmer gets eaten, basically, because they shoot at him and he's like, nah, it's dead. Oh, he's run away to die. Wah!
Oh, blimey, bugger me.
Yeah.
I know, and you think, oh, come on, mate, you are so obviously going to die.
Yeah.
You know, never be the dickhead who goes, no, we killed it.
Yeah.
I've got a wife and 3 children.
Yeah.
Yep, you're gonna
Yeah,
die.
You're dying, yeah.
Oh, my
I've got a
I was due to
sweetheart.
retire today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're dead.
I've got
One
a
day from
sweetheart
now.
at home. Oh, dead.
Dead.
I haven't seen her in so long, but I see her tomorrow. No.
Dead.
I'm old and lonely.
You'll live.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
live.
I'm a horrible person and have murdered many people. Oh, you definitely
You
get
live.
season 2.
You live.
Yeah, I have nothing to live for. Okay, well, you might as well just come with me then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
You always know as the actor shows up, it's like, does my character have a name? No, damn it.
I'm dead. So the library was they set the library with all the mistletoe. So I
Mistletoe,
kind of
yeah.
liked the mistletoe thing, and there is a part of a mythology that mistletoe will keep away a werewolf.
That was the...
You don't
the
just kiss when you see mistletoe.
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 I always love with Doctor Who and hate, because I have a massive love for the horror films and especially the classics of the Universal. And I for some reason, I love it when they bring something into Who, but then I always hate it when they retcon it and go, alien. So it's
Yeah.
like, we have werewolves. Yeah, it's alien.
Alien.
Vampires. Venice. Aliens.
Yeah.
Ghosts. Aliens. It's like zombies. Aliens. God, come on. Can't we have something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to have something that the Doctor can't explain. You know, there's always
Besides his own
little bits
timeline.
and things. Yeah. But something that is the whole thing is he doesn't know. They stop it, but he does't really understand.
He has an explanation. He's like, oh, it's some sort of blah blah, and it's affected by the wavelengths of the blah blah, and it's like, oh, okay.
It always reminds me of, especially Roger Moore era James Bond, where it's like, 007, do you know anything about diamonds? Well, sir, besides that they bring them in, blah, blah, and he'll go on for like a 10-minute rant about how they cut them, how they polish them, how their market value is.
PowerPoint slide.
Q sitting there like, now 007? And then it's just like, so I know a bit, sir. And it's just like, it's the same thing with the Doctor every time. It's just like, oh my God, this is a fantastic thing that's never happened before. Well, actually, and it's like, oh,
I know.
In that scene when they're in the library, he's like, we have the best weapons available. Let's do some research. And all I find out is like, oh yeah, there was a meteor, and that's probably the alien spaceship. Like they don't find out any way to stop the werewolf, anything to help them at all.
But the
It's like they
Doctor-
just have their origin story.
Doesn't the Doctor realise when he sees the diamond?
Yeah, but the diamond is not in a book.
No, that's true. That's true.
he's just very clever, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Unless he picks up from the books that, oh, there's all this research about it, and they've been researching it for a while, you know.
and it's really just a guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
It could have been just nothing. You know, they just guess. Oh, well, this is probably what happened. Well, should we look any more books? No, we've got to
that'll
work
do,
in
that'll
theory.
do. It doesn't work,
Look
and
at
they
all
all
these
get
books.
killed.
How are we going to get through all this to find the research? Oh, found it. Oh,
Yeah,
son of a
yeah.
bitch.
There's
What
a
was
lo-
there? A Dewey Decimal System?
There's a lot
Werewolf.
Yeah.
You know.
of, just look through the cards. Werewolf. Here
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Got it.
These
Oh,
books
someone
are...
checked it out. Damn it.
Yeah, these books are our greatest weapons, so grab some. We're going to throw them at the werewolf.
Yeah, that's right. Take knowledge, you fairy beast.
And honestly, if you're going to build something like that, make it, werewolf proof. Don't put a glass dome ceiling.
No.
What are you thinking?
I also would have liked if they would have gone like, this is our greatest arsenal, and Doctor's like, books? And they're like, no, and they just move one and it opens up, it's all like machine guns.
Yeah. It's like a Fast and the Furious scene, and he's like...
Opens up a room of DVD players.
Yeah. Or they just open up and then all these silver bullets fall down on them. Because that's what you
that's
need.
the thing, is like...
It is werewolf season.
We're supposed to believe that they set this entire trap, and they're not just like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of silver bullets all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't see that in their research.
But he does explain the mistletoe as being like, oh, they train the wolf to not like mistletoe. So maybe the silver bullets wouldn't work. But then the Doctor suggests them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I do know that there is a myth that wolves don't like mistletoe. I mean, all the priests are out there, monks are out there with mistletoe. Instead of boiling it up, honey, make yourself necklaces. The wolf won't go near
Oh, well,
you.
they wanted to use it to attack the wolf.
Just put it around the jugular.
Yeah.
Any of the sensitive bits, leave your arms all open. But maybe just make a cologne out of it. I don't know.
I'd be run all myself.
Lady Isabel comes up to Robert McLeish and he's like, "Oh, I get what this one's for. What's this little one for?" And oh, right. Okay, yeah, all right. So we can have kids, right?
Yeah.
But a little merkin made of mistletoe merkin. But I think the only scene that we were missing besides the books is this being the era of Tennant and Russell. Is Doctor just sticking the sonic screwdriver up his nose or something? Going, no, I've got all the plot right here.
Yeah.
I still will never forgive them the day that he was about 3. They even said, we're 3 kilometers away from the prison. How do we get in? And Doctor takes the screwdriver out and just waves it in the air and goes, there's a secret entrance over there. I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they just use it. I understand that it's a good tool to have, but it can be so overused and used for lazy writing.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Matt Smith's season was the worst for it because it looked cool and it did the whole and it was like a gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did a lot of exposition with Tennant's use with that thing, which obviously John Hurt made fun of in Day of the Doctor, which was fantastic.
Definitely.
It's a screwdriver.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Assemble some furniture?
We could throw a wardrobe at them.
They study the library in a good old Hoobie Gang library scene, much like from Buffy, and discover evidence collected by Sir Robert's father, a polymath. That's the first time we've had one of our Doctor Who Time Lord names in the series.
Yes, hello to Glenn Stevens.
Polymath.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn. And Prince Albert, which indicates the wolf is really the current form of an alien species that survives by passing its form from human to human.
And so it was one cell and they had to wait.
It's the thing.
Okay. Yeah. And then they infect a child.
And they never pick it up because, the story's like, and then one generation, a boy is taken.
Yeah.
Just a single boy. I wonder what they use that boy for.
Well, that's a great crossover because at the beginning of John Carpenter's The Thing, what comes running at them? And that's what's carrying what the thing is in the shape of was a wolf.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many great things that I enjoyed about it, but the wolf itself kind of, threw me off a bit. And, yeah, I would like to have seen a bit more kung fu. Can't believe Queen Victoria shot the abbot and he didn't even try and, high kick her.
That was a lot of times, I think, in especially this era of Who, where they did set up big set pieces and you're like, great, the payoff on this is going to be amazing. And then it never actually happens.
I know.
So it's like, isn't this cool? And we move on.
Yeah. It is amazing, though, that she had so many attempts on her life.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was monarch, so.
Yeah, I know, but more than most.
Isn't the Queen, the current Queen, hasn't she only had 2 or 3 attempts on her life?
Oh, she's a wee baby.
It would be enough to piss me off.
She's
but-
93 years old. She's
It's
such
not
a
enough.
baby.
It's not enough for her to carry a gun around. That's for sure.
I don't know.
Does
we
she
should-
carry a gun?
I don't know, but Queen Victoria in this
I
episode
thought she just
does.
yeeted
man.
corgis at her enemies.
I would love to see the Queen, somebody goes to assassinate her and she just John Wicks that shit.
Yeah.
Takes the gun apart, shoots them in the knee, and then disassembles it in front of him and goes, you gotta bring it, bitch. Or something. That was my Queen. It sounded like Mickey Mouse, but
Yeah, she should have had a cool line like, well, sir, you might need the moon, but all I need is this gun.
this kind of whoop-ass. Yeah, she just brings out some kung fu shit. I learned this watching Doctor Who.
I wondered why my late husband asked me to learn kung fu.
She does the Neo thing, the come at me,
The Doctor also realizes that the estate was designed as a trap for the werewolf by using its strange telescope, along with the Queen's Con-e-Nora diamond, cut and fashioned by Prince Albert. They can destroy the alien life form.
What about it being 40% smaller?
I
from
know,
all
that's
the cutting?
crazy.
I just kept thinking 40%.
What happens to all the cutting?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, just fucking keep it to yourself.
Someone snorts it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a bit of diamond in me. 2 deaths that I didn't see were necessary. The Queen's Guard. He didn't slow down the wolf at all.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you time. No, you won't. And then James McLeish.
Robert McLeish.
Robert, I thought he should have gone in there with them and looked after Queen Victoria because he didn't slow slow the wolf down either, did he?
Yeah, the guard goes...
And he would have been stronger than Rose helping
Yeah,
to
exactly.
move it.
The guard goes to Robert McLeish, "You're a traitor to the crown." And he's like, "Mate, they had my wife and all my servants, dude, okay? Seriously.
Not the servants.
I tried my best."
I mean, I could have lost the wife, fine, but those servants know some shit.
But they love each other. Every time they meet, they're smooching it up.
yeah.
I was like, Jesus, get a room, guys.
Yeah, that's right. There's a werewolf coming.
The doctor's like, "You want to take this to one of the rooms?" I'm like,
Lord Robert McLeish only uses a sword.
Yeah.
A fake sword
A
from...
sword?
A sword.
A
An
sword.
ornamental sword from the wall, which probably
Yeah.
isn't even sharp.
I don't know, chuck a hanky at him. It's
Yeah.
just silly. The sword had a shield with it. Get the shield, buddy. Get the shield.
it was probably actually like an antique, and they're like, "Don't touch this shit."
Yeah. You can use this fake sword that we've put in there, but don't touch anything
We got
else.
this from the dollar store.
Yeah.
So Robert sacrificing himself to allow the Doctor, Rose, and the Queen to prepare the telescope in the observatory. Queen doesn't really do much.
No, and she stands right near the door.
Yeah.
It pissed me off. Stand at the back of the room, honey. What does she think she's going to do?
Yeah.
She knows she's a target, and they're putting the thing, and she's like, "Well, I'll just stand right at the door."
And the bit just before where the Doctor's trying to explain to the Queen, "I'm a doctor, so, a nice brisk little jog," and he does a little jog. I expected to turn around and be like, "I'm not a fucking child, mate. I can see we're being chased by a wolf. I know we're going to have to run, like..."
Not only that, but under her dress, she's actually got like a hoverboard. It's just,
Yeah.
just motoring along. He's like, "What the hell?"
She was a big lady in the end. I don't think she could have run up those stairs quite at that speed. But anyway.
I would have liked to they had a chance to have a really empowering moment for her because after they discovered the whole telescope thing in the books and everything, like they all started chatting and quipping and blah blah blah. It would have been great to just see her in the background just reading it, and when they're trying to actually put it together later, they're like, "What is that? What is it?" And she's just like, "Step aside, child."
Yes.
Pulls out like an Allen key and she's like fixing it up IKEA style, and they're like, "Well, if someone actually read the instructions," and the doctor's like, "No." Yeah.
Well, that would,
Did you know there's a manual, people?
I thought the diamond would have to go into the telescope somehow, but no, it's basically just you have to slide it under the thing and hope that the wolf is in the right place. So you either needed the most expensive piece of jewellery in the entire world or a mirror, really.
Yeah,
Pretty
something
sure there's a
shiny.
few mirrors in the house they could have also used.
Like it only shot one beam. It wasn't shooting beams all around.
Better solution. Like, it screams to me of rushed writing. Like it's like, yeah, and then the diamond comes into play. Yeah, and then this, and then like, but how does it work? And everyone went, "I don't know, it shoots a rainbow." I would have liked it if they were trying to figure it out, and then Queen Victoria's like, "Oh, screw this," and she just like spear tackles the wolf and like bludgeons it to death. Like
With the diamond.
Just curb stomps it on the side of a carriage or something. Like,
She
and everyone-
attaches it to her fist and she just starts punching the crap out of the diamond, out of the wolf.
It's quite pointy, and
Yeah.
as a woman, and most women, when we walk around to our car or anything, we hold our keys that we're going to stab people.
Yeah.
I don't know what was ever going to have something attack me, and I'm going to go, "Here, I'm going to poke you with my key."
I'm going to
Yeah.
turn you on.
yeah.
I do
Wait,
that and
what?
have my little alarm.
Let me show you which car is mine.
That's a good idea.
Or if she pulled out like a bag of the cuttings and then she put them in like her knuckles and she's like,
Yeah.
"All
Knuckle
right,
dusters.
I'm ready to go."
Yeah, like Liam Neeson in the
come
gray.
Ah.
Oh, another tie-in. There we go. He's a great grandson of the Queen Victoria. Finally going to get that wolf. Just watch and it wouldn't even have to do like CG violence or anything, like where she like puts the mouth open of the wolf on the step and like curb stomps him or something like that, like American History X stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you just cut back to the Doctor and Rose. It's like, "Oh, cheer, oh God!" And you just
Wow.
hear the like
She's-
squishiness of it.
She's really dark, isn't she?
And then you could have had them walking back being like, "Is Queen Victoria a werewolf?" "No, she's way worse."
Yeah, she's wearing a necklace of the teeth, just like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. It's just like,
But I think she does an amazing job as Queen Victoria because she has that withering look. You know, when Rose will say something or the doctor will say, she looks at them and I'd go, ooh. sorry.
Easy,
sorry.
Mom.
When she's like, "How can you change your accent?" And he's like, "Oh, shit, sorry."
Yeah,
I'm actually using my fake accent now.
my Dick Van Dyne.
oh man,
Dear,
yeah.
oh dear. No, and it was just that I thought that was kind of nice at the end when the wolf says, "Let me go." The alien wants to
But why?
be
It
done
goes
with
from
it.
like, "I want to rule the world" to being like, "Well, I'm captured now. You might as well kill me."
But is it because at that moment he realizes that it's his one chance at not being kept in a cage and
I
a
suppose.
creature. I mean, it can't be
Can
much
I-
of a life.
Can I say when the wolf image turns into like the alien image, it very much reminded me of that episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is the alien.
I bring you
Oh, yeah,
Bring you peace. It brings us peace. Kill it.
Yeah. But I think also every alien in the universe knows that when the Doctor shows up, it's going one of two ways. I'm either getting free
way or
or
the
I'm
highway.
dying. So it's like, you know what? I've had a good run.
Yeah,
Let
so-
the Queen curb stomp me.
Can we use that as like a little snippet?
Oh,
of audio?
I'm making a
Let
shirt.
the queens. yeah.
Stop me.
just a silhouette of the Queen Victoria full gale just curb stomping a werewolf.
I found that hard enough to watch Ed Norton do in American History X. I went, oh, God. I don't know if I like Ned.
Well, in the WWE, there's a guy who uses a move and he calls it the curb stomp. And actually, what he does, he just runs up and puts his foot in the back of the head and supposedly drives the guy's face into the mat.
yeah.
Every time it does it, that image from American History X comes in, and then I just want to do like a Mortal Kombat style cut up of every time he does it, just cut to the X-ray.
So who's this?
It's hideous.
Seth Rollins in
Oh, okay,
WWE.
yeah.
And his character's a giant racist. Is that right?
Yeah,
He
he
is
wears
pretty
big
big,
swastika on his chest.
No.
No, he has a lot of Game of Thrones style stuff. He keeps
Yeah.
calling himself the something Slayer, and he'll come out dressed as like Jon Snow or White Walker or whatever they're called. I don't actually watch that show. So.
What did you think of them getting their knighthood and Dame Rose of the Powell estate?
Knowing the Doctor, I think this would probably be like the 900th time he's been knighted.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's the first time.
Oh.
In a story
He's just telling her that.
from the I think it was the first Doctor. One of his companions got knighted, and the Doctor said, "Oh, I wish I had been knighted too." And so this is like 40 years later, he gets knighted.
I think he's just super humble, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, good for you. I've never had that. I have many." And then the Queen's like, "I'll knight you," and he's like, "Oh, great. It's my first time. Be gentle." And he's like, "No, I've done this. I've done this raw before."
I will tell you, but it did end differently to what I expected. I thought she would be a little more grateful for the help they gave her, but she banished them
Yeah, she gives him a knighthood, and then is like, "Get the fuck out of my house."
and never come back.
I think probably because also Victoria has been around for so long, and I know Darren from the Doctor Who books and novels and radio plays, he's been around her a lot. I think this is her like, I'm fed up with your shit.
Yeah, I've had enough.
Every time you come around, shit gets weird.
you
and I'm
eat
sick
all the
of it.
food in the cupboard. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
pay
right.
rent.
That's right. You run up my Netflix account bill.
You're quite rude.
I was in the middle of watching something, and then you started it all over again because you started it.
Yeah.
Use all my data. It was a nice twist, and then obviously
It was
that was the
unexpected.
precipice, so she could go right, and we're going to start the Torchwood so
Yeah.
that we stop you bastards from doing this stuff again.
Torchwood
Even though you're going to pretty
Institute.
much only be around to help Torchwood because they can't do it themselves.
And then
Yeah.
but Torchwood is always like, "Oh my god, the Doctor's here! Yay!" It's like, don't you remember what you were started for? To
you
defend
have an
against the
immortal on
They
your
do.
team.
Yeah.
They do arrest him right at the end of the season. They do arrest him, but they are so excited. We didn't know you
You're
existed.
under arrest. I'm your biggest fan.
I just love you.
They arrest him, but then we find out later, they've had Jack the Immortal like throughout all of this time. He's probably working for Torchwood right now in this episode.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in London.
would
Still still like every once in a while going and taking a shower with a toaster, just trying to die.
Yeah.
Jack is the most depressing character.
Hey, they made a new toaster. Excellent. I'll be first in line.
Yes. This one has a tablet on the side of it. Ooh, double the power.
Yeah, I mean, if you really, really hated your life, it would just suck to be Jack, wouldn't it? You know, you're just watching everybody around you go.
Oh, that would be terrible to live forever. Oh, I'd hate it.
I
Especially
actually would.
well,
I
also
would not.
if you,
I would love it.
in the
Oh my
long enough
God.
timeline, because at one stage the Doctor put his arm around Jack and he's like, "Yeah, you remember that big floating head? That's your future." And he's like, "Oh shit, I really want to die." now."
It's never
Yeah.
gonna happen.
What happens to my beautiful body?
Jesus, people have told me I had a big head before, but
This is
fuck.
ridiculous. I still get all the ladies, right? And some of the guys? No? No, nothing? I'm in a floating jar? Oh, God. Give me a
Kill me
toaster.
now.
2 toasters. Let's do this.
What, I spend my days with a nun? Novice Hane? I mean, come on.
Poor Jack.
He just keeps telling her, put another toaster in.
That's where all the wiring in. It's just the
Yeah.
toasters they couldn't pull out. And that's why the water's all murky. It's just rusted from all the toasters.
When they were doing the table read for the episode, the actor Michelle Duncan, who played Lady Isabel, and Jamie Sivs, who played the Captain Reynolds, were unable to attend the read-through for the story, and their parts were read by Tennant's parents, who happened to be visiting the Doctor Who set.
No.
No.
They were a little bit upset when they weren't asked to reprise the roles in the episode.
Yeah, they said, can we? And then, David Tennant said he had to say, hold your horses here, hold your horses.
No, ma'am.
So that would have been Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, because he's David McDonald, isn't he? David
Yeah.
Tennant, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I would just, it's so cute. His little
I
parents there and the little
know.
Scottish accents. I just want to put them in my pocket.
Hey, David, I don't like you using those words.
What are you, son? What are you putting on that accent? What is your Scottish bro? So beautiful. Mom! Tennant turned into like his teenage kid. He's just like, I need my space.
Oh, Mom. They're not allowed back on the lot.
Yeah, tell them they've been recast.
What's really sad is that his mother passed away while he was filming Doctor Who. And it was the Titanic episode. So, yeah, Kylie was talking to him about stuff. Yeah, well, he was really close to
And
his
that's
mum.
when he's like,
so-
well, I want Kylie to die in this episode again. Everyone dies. I hate everything.
David, we paid her a lot of money to be the companion in the next series. And
No, she's dead.
okay, we have to give her that up front. That means a lot more shit CGI.
Could you imagine if Kylie Minogue was the companion?
I would have loved that.
Yes.
She was so good.
I think she would have been a great companion.
Yeah.
She would have had the sass of Amelia Pond, the much better looking than Rose, which she was a total package.
Yeah,
And
she's
the
not.
paycheck
she's
of
not,
the Doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's not 19.
Yeah.
That's what I like. She's River would be quite jealous, I think.
I mean, the greatest companion of all time, in my opinion, is still Donna.
New Who, Sarah Jane for me. I could say that again. Can I say Kimber the White Lion too?
Kimber the
Bingo.
White Lion is your favourite Doctor Who companion?
It's just
It was one episode.
Yes.
It was a spin-off.
it was-
It's only a novelization.
I didn't see how the Doctor came into it, but apparently it was a spin-off. So there you go. All right.
Kimber the White Doctor. No, wait.
No.
That's
They've all been white.
yeah. Now, originally, Russell T Davies planned to surprise viewers by having the werewolf kill Queen Victoria. This would have been the moment that caused the parallel dimension in The Rise of Cybermen later in the series.
Ah.
Yeah, so he wanted to show an event that caused the parallel dimension that they go to later on.
Yeah.
However, it has been pointed out by fans that without the Queen creating Torchwood at the end of this episode, then that parallel version of Torchwood couldn't exist.
Yeah.
And we know that they have a version of Torchwood in that parallel dimension. So
So once again, the nerds ruin creative freedom.
well, apparently also Davies was worried that casual viewers wouldn't understand the ongoing storyline, so
Yeah.
he dropped it.
Well, they do that every once in a while when they do an episode that's probably too season arcing centric. They're like, we just got to chuck a monster of the week in here just
Yeah.
to kind of let the casual. Unfortunately, with the 12 with Jodie's season, they kind of just went, let's just make it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Chris Chibnall was like, there was a lot of stuff that he had to be a huge Whovian. It's like with comic books, they have like 20 years of stuff, and then they're like, we're going to reboot it again so people can join in again. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that didn't work. Let's reboot it again.
Yeah.
that's right.
So people can join in again. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
didn't work. But let's reboot
Yeah.
it again.
Guys, the
That's
new
what-
52 is going to be amazing. That didn't work. Let's try again, shall
Let's
we?
just do DC Rebirth, where
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
bring.
yeah.
Oh no, Superman. He was actually just chilling on a farm in Kansas the entire time while this other Superman's been flying around. What are we gonna do with this other Superman? We're gonna keep him around too? No, we're gonna have him turn to dust in the original Superman's hand. Why? Why not?
But it's okay. It's not going to be confusing because some of the comic books are still going to follow the new 52 storyline. Others are going to be the DC Rebirth.
The best thing about the whole DC Reverse, sorry to go off on a side tangent, is the fact that the only character who did not change one bit is Batman. And he's just like, everyone's like, all right, everyone, look, Superman, Aquaman, we're going to make you cool for a change. Wonder Woman, you're still going to be badass. Batman, what? Nothing. You're perfect just as you are. We're going to give you a son, though.
And that was our comic book.
That was a continuation of our Batman podcast.
Yes, that's right.
Was there anything else you'd like to talk about from Tooth and Claw?
I don't know. I mean, I think we nailed everything. I think that it is one of those, obviously, Monster of the Week, very Buffy, which I
yeah.
did like about it. Lots of quips. I think the joke of her trying to get the Queen to say, I'm not amused, ran way too often.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's Rule 3 for a reason. That's why it's called Rule 3.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
went way overboard.
Yeah, it did.
And look, Billie Piper is good in some of the stuff, but when it comes to a lot of the comedy stuff, not so good.
I tell you, I did like the bits because I watched this episode twice for this. You watch David Tennant and Billie Piper; they have their own little stuff going on.
Yeah, they do.
Like at one point, he mouths to her, "I was so close." laughs.
Yeah.
You know, like I
They're
do
so
like
excited.
I do like the chemistry between the two of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Way more than Eccleston.
Yeah. They have chemistry. Have chemistry right from the beginning, and that's what really I think is bringing this season together is their chemistry and their little. You know, I mean, everything as terrifying as it is, they're like having a hoot.
But in saying that, I think a lot of that goes with Tennant. I think more than Piper, for the simple reason, like he had that with Martha. When you sit there and think about the companions, if it wasn't for that, you know, the beach and the I love you, all that with Rose, you could put, you know, them on parallel as companions. Obviously, when you interject somebody like Catherine Tate, who is amazing.
Oh my gosh!
And then you put her with Tennant, who's amazing. You
Yeah.
get great stuff.
The chemistry was incredible. I could have had a lot more seasons of Donna. I really could have.
Well, we need to get her back for Big Finish. You know, Martha's just doing Big Finish, so
Yeah, well, she's done a few big finishes
has
with
she?
David
Oh.
Tennant. Yeah, they're really good.
Oh, awesome.
Big shout out to Big Finish for bringing our characters back, even if we can't see them on the
they're
screen.
they're your characters now?
They're ours
Well,
because we love them.
The Royal Owl.
Because
We
obviously
own them.
I was on this podcast to talk about my favorite Doctor, which is Colin Baker. There does get a point though with the Big Finish where it's like, okay, you're a little too old to do this now. Because no matter like Tom Baker's voice is still great, Colin Baker still sounds great, but when you get old, you get that old man list.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get, I don't know if we do this. And you're just like, oh no.
Well, it's my first adventure as the Doctor.
I'm just a sprightly young man. Can I get my Ovaltine?
Forgot about you were on Colin Baker. Thank you very much for
Yes.
making us watch the Trial of a Time Lord.
Oh, that's right. Adam's
14
never forgiven you.
fucking episodes.
Still good. Well, they just brought the Valeyard back in a Big Finish
I know.
Oh, yeah.
with
I
Paul
know.
McGann.
Probably not as long as 14 episodes, that's for sure. Wouldn't have minded if it was maybe like 3 or 4 episodes, but 14 fucking episodes?
Yeah.
He really hates you for that.
Ah. And I'm fine with it. I love it. I'm absorbing this hate like,
It's the
tasty.
most research I've ever had to do for this podcast.
Oh, you're
I've
top of
watched
the
it.
kill list
I've
now.
watched it numerous times for enjoyment.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, let's score it out of 5. This episode, Tooth and Claw. Who wants to go first? Nicchia?
I will go first. So I liked the little quips. I love the chemistry. They overdo the joke a bit much about trying to get her to say, I'm not amused. I didn't like the CGI. The story had some holes in it. So for me, it's kind of what I would consider a bog standard Doctor Who episode. I'm between 2.5 and 3. I think I'm going to go hard 2.5.
I'm going to have to give Tooth and Claw a tooth. Just for the pun. But exactly what you said. It's a forgettable episode.
It is.
If I was flipping through channels and it was on, I would watch it, but not one I'd go back to again and again. Even though it does have 2 moments that do, Heard the Bad Wolf and then Torchwood.
Yeah.
Great. That's, the little bit of fall through, but not that great.
So you give it a 2. Would you say it's better than The End of the World from season 1?
No.
Better than Dalek?
Anything with a Dalek immediately goes up to like 3.
Better than A Christmas Carol?
No, I wouldn't put it above that.
Better than It Takes You Away from season 11?
Which one's that?
The frog thing.
I really liked the frog.
I
so it's still
hated
lower
that.
Thank God somebody agrees
I
with me.
really liked it. It was existential. It was different.
I liked it too, by the way.
Besides the frog part, that's the only part I didn't like.
I think the only episode I think I dislike out of all of them would have been the Earth 2 one that was actually the previous episode of this one. That one actually aggravated
You don't
me.
like New Earth?
Okay.
No, New Earth.
And I gave it a 3.5. I enjoyed it more.
I don't know what it was. It's just I didn't do
So
it.
those were the episodes that our guests have given 2 to. So I was trying to figure
right.
out where in that. So it's the lowest 2.
Because it's out of 5, maybe I'll give it a 1.5 then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dropping it.
Just to get it out of the 2s, because that's good company that it's in there, and I don't think it deserves a Christmas Carol.
We'd best get it to the burns unit because it's just been burned.
Look, I enjoyed this episode more than New Earth, that's for sure. I gave New Earth a 3.
You enjoyed it more than New Earth.
Totally, yeah. I hardly remembered New Earth. I remembered bits of this episode. Not everything, but I remembered bits of this episode. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, radio. The second time I watched it, there were bits that I picked up, like the chemistry between Rose and the Doctor and the little side of things that they're doing while other action is happening, and I really enjoyed that. I was going to give it a 4, and after the discussion we've had today, I'm probably going to knock it down to a 3.5. There is a lot that gets improved the more the series goes along. There's still some some really good bits to it. You're right. The we are not amused joke goes way too long, too many times. But I think when the Doctor starts trying to do it, I think that's when it starts like, oh, it's funny again now.
But again, I think
the acting is amazing from all of them. It's
and I think we also have to obviously we always put the little caption on this all is that even the worst episode of Doctor Who we love.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Like
Totally,
it's like
yeah.
trying to rank, any Star Wars, Star Trek, or James Bond. It's like even the worst one, you're like, I will still watch this.
I mean, for the purpose of this podcast, like when we come to review Trial of a Time Lord, I am going to be in my element.
Yeah.
Just ranting and raving.
Yeah.
We still talk about the pink clams from freaking Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah. Were they pink? I forget what they were. They're just the worst
they are
clams
burnt
ever.
into my retina.
Because even what a lot of people will consider one of the worst episodes of New Who, which was that one that was co-written by the Blue Peter winners, the one that's told from the other guy's
Love and
perspective.
Monsters.
Zorbaloff.
When they're doing the Scooby-Doo run back and forth with the pail
It's
of
fun.
That's so fun. Like I love that episode just for that scene.
Well, that's this season, so we're going to get to it
And
pretty soon.
I kind of think in that, like you said, you don't think Rose, Billy Piper does comedy as well. I think in that one, I see that side of her. And I know in New Earth, she wanted something a bit more comedic for her character, which is she likes to get to play Lady Cassandra's version of her. So
Well, I like the comedy
she's
in this
obviously
episode.
looking for a bit more of
I
that.
like the comedy in this episode more than I liked New Earth. I just, maybe I should have given it 2.5, but like
No, that's eight.
anyway.
I think
It is what it is.
As you say, every episode you love it. I've never watched an episode where I've gone, well, that's it. I'm never watching this show again.
Yeah, totally.
Any nerd out there who claims to love something and then goes, "I'm never watching this again after this," you didn't like it in the first place.
Or before they even air it, like, oh, Doctor Who is dead to me now because they cast a woman. It's like, okay, all right, off you go. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
So excited.
Yeah.
I mean, every new Doctor, I'm super excited for because as much as I love the previous, like Capaldi was probably one of my favorites out of the New Who. I just loved everything that he did. When they announced Jodie, I was like, on board.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Like,
Yeah.
this is great.
And it's funny because I was excited about Capaldi because I really like him as an actor, but I didn't like his Doctor for the first few episodes. And I kept thinking, I will stay with this, but I want to punch this guy in the face. And then he sort of found his feet. And I suppose they did a quicker version of the Colin Baker, which is he's a bit confused and he finds his way. And then I adored him after that. But yeah, my first few, I'm going like, oh God, I hope this gets better. Ugh.
And Beck, what score would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 2, but I feel like I'm probably not the best person to be giving an answer for this because I didn't get the chance to watch all of the episode. I have seen the episode before and I've sort of been reminded about the plot listening to you guys talk about it. But yeah, it wasn't really one of my favorites. I remember when I first watched it, I was just like, I think I'm just going to go to the next episode.
Yeah, you just kind of know when Adam says, oh, we're reviewing this episode, this is where we're up to, or, we work out, and my body goes,
Well, we have to get through all of these early seasons to get through to the.
oh,
Donna,
absolutely. No, and I'm enjoying it because some of the ones
You
that
don't seem to be enjoying it, Nicchia.
some of the ones that I've thought, I didn't like that, I've actually watched again and went, hey, I can see, I see more to it. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for joining us.
No worries.
Before we finish, what movie do you think would be improved by adding the Doctor into it? It can be a good movie that you think could use the Doctor's hijinks, or it could be a very bad movie that you think would be improved by adding the Doctor into it.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. Oh, hell yes.
I've never seen it.
So the first two that came into my head originally was first The Matrix, then Day After Tomorrow.
Oh,
Because that's as obvious.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
David Tennant's Doctor in Kung Fu Hustle, or maybe Ocean's 11. There's a bunch of options
Kung
right
Fu
there.
Hustle. I like that.
that would just
Kung Fu
add...
Hustle's a great movie.
I'd put him in Ocean's 11 and that's just cool on cool. If it's Tennant, cool on cool.
But he would just be there to be our voice, so like point out all the stuff like up to Brad Pitt and like, why are you eating
Yeah.
all the time?
And then right at the end, you find out the Doctor's just stolen the money anyway in the TARDIS.
He's taking a whole casino. It's one of the rooms with the bald guys in it.
He makes the casino disappear and just leaves the money.
He would.
Dear.
Now he's doing a casino in space with Clara's restaurant at the end of the universe.
Their little American diner.
Nicchia, do you have anything to plug?
No, I've got nothing now because I'll be gone at the end of the week. Not gone as in...
Yeah, not gone, but
Gone
will
but
have-
not forgotten.
I will have moved, so I will be establishing my contacts in the Canberra, my roots.
You're putting down
Your
roots.
roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
And you'll-
Canberra the porn capital of Australia?
Is it?
Yeah, apparently.
That's all those sexy MPs are at.
Yeah, you said you were
Hello.
getting an office job.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
all
you
right.
would believe anything.
That's
I
what it's
say.
called. Office job was in quotes.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
No, in porn, they give you the milkshake.
Ah.
Oh, for fuck's
And it's
sake.
usually in somebody else's yard, which is code for something else. Welcome to our porn podcast.
Yeah, our Batman porn podcast.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
I will put any gigs up on my Nicchia Short Comedy face page.
Fantastic. Scott, anything to promote?
No, you can just follow me on the all the Instagrams and the Twitters and everything at Mr. Scott Black.
Fantastic. Beck,
Mr.
anything to
Scott
promote?
Black. I like that.
Just my art page, which is rwolf.art.
Our wolf. If you follow
Aw.
Beck on social media, soon we'll have the Empire of the Wolf.
Sure.
She's starting her own empire now.
I already have an empire. I just
you
don't tell you
do?
about it.
Oh, all right.
You never invite us over to see it.
No.
The empire.
That just sounds wrong.
Because to get in, you have to curb stomp a wolf.
Very exclusive club.
Jeez, I'm never getting in.
As always, you can follow Adam O'Sullivan Comedian on Facebook and visit thenerdinfinite.com. D4WH is on Facebook. Give our page a like for updates and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at D4WHpod. We'll post questions and polls and would love your input and feedback. Rate and review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook, and follow us on Podbean. We are also now available on Spotify and Stitcher. Tell your friends about us, and if you see someone on the street wearing a Doctor Who shirt, politely go up to them and suggest our podcast. Get the word out.
Get the wolf out.
Get the wolf out.
Get that wolf out.
Would you like to give me a location and an object?
Okay, we'll go to Toronto, and I'll give you some poutine.
You get the word out. You might be in Toronto eating some delicious poutine at one of the bar arcade. No, wait, that was Edmonton. Anyway, I'm gonna.
It's all Canada.
Yeah, it's all Canada. Eating some
all the same.
delicious poutine with actual cheese curds, not like melted cheese like they do here in Australia. No, it's actually very good.
Oh, really?
Very delicious.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
sounds like poontang, which is
Oh,
rude. Sorry.
That's what you get after poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat poutine, and then you're like, hey, ladies.
Yeah, it's an aphrodisiac for the Canadians.
There's a bar in Edmonton called Barcadia, and it's like a bar, and it's got pinball machines, and it's got arcade machines. So amazing. One thing they don't have yet is D4WH, so you bring it along with you, and you get kicked out of the bar and are never allowed to return. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?